Hey friends, welcome back to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Tube. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Big Daddy.
Thanks for joining us today. Today we are on the road headed to Shreveport, Louisiana. I have a scope scheduled. I need to be there at 11. My scope is scheduled for 12. And so we're on our way. We're on the interstate headed that way. So that's what we're doing today. Thanks for coming along with us, and we'll just take clips throughout our day and see how it goes. I'm really nervous. I don't know. Normally I'm not so nervous, but I think I'm nervous because of the unknown. Because when they did my scope in July, it was really bad in my esophagus, and my stomach was really bad, and so I've been with this drain bag, this tube and a bag hanging out of my stomach since July, and so letting my stomach drain as much as possible so that it gives me a chance to heal. And so I've been doing it even when it was hard, even when I didn't want to do it. Been doing it so that I have the best chance to heal.
Got malnourished in the process.
Yeah, I got malnourished and dehydrated and everything else, but trying to do, what I'm supposed to do on my part.
Yeah.
I just hope that I've healed on the inside. So anyway, and then I don't know if I'm still going to have this bag afterwards or not. I mean, it's good to have it some though, but not all the time. But anyway, it's been a hard time. And so I didn't sleep last night. I was just nervous about today. And it's the unknown. It is. I refluxed all night. I was just refluxing all night. And I hadn't been doing that much. So I don't know why I did it all night long. I don't know if my nerves caused me to reflux more. Is that a thing? Is that a thing, Big Daddy?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
That'd be your love.
Anyway, in July, her plans were to scope and put a jtube in for a feeding tube. Right now I have a G-tube, but I need a J-tube also. So that was her plans in July. Well, when she got in there, my esophagus is so narrow that she could not even get a regular scope down it. She had to go get a neonatal scope to scope me. And so this morning, after we got in the car, checked my email and I had a message from her. So I went and read that message on my chart, and she said that she wasn't going to be there today, but another doctor was, and her two associates, and that they was going to do the scope and all that. And she said we wasn't doing the GJ tube yet because we have to get my esophagus stretched big enough, I guess, so that will go down. So that the tube, because the GJ tube needs to go down my mouth and down my esophagus and into my stomach, pull part of the tube out of my stomach, and then go on down and put the rest of the tube down into the duodenum. So she can't get that in because she can't get it to go down my esophagus. So anyway, and back in the day, I used to get my esophagus stretched quite a bit until it just wouldn't stretch anymore, and it just wouldn't do any good, wouldn't do anything.
Back in the day.
Well, it's many years ago. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm just trying to hold it together. But so anyway, I do need this J-tube replaced because on my J-tube, It has some valves on it. It has a, imagine like a beach ball has the little valve that you put the air in. So my tube has two of those. It has a big one. That's the main one where you would hook your formula up, or you could give a large syringe of medicines and such. And then it has a small one that is also for meds. And so Paige uses both of them. It's, different size syringes for different medications and such. The other night, I was cutting the tape that's holding this all in. It had just all melted together, and it was just, couldn't peel it off. It was just a melted, gooey mess. And so I was having to get the scissors and cut. But you imagine my hands trying to use scissors. I ended up cutting the top off of the little one right here. I ended up cutting this. And so this, normally, it'll pop open at any time and, stomach stuff comes out. And so now it's cut and it's not attached to my tube. And so I put a piece of tape on it to hold it on there, but sometimes my shirt or whatever will pull that tape off, and I have lost that little thing, and I had to go around the house and find it. Thankfully, I found it before the cats did. But I had got up and was going to the restroom, and I felt fluid running down my leg and on my feet, and so I was like, oh, what happened? And I looked, and that little cap thing was off, the little valve was off and gone. And so I just retraced my steps from getting up out of my chair, and that's when it come off. So if I lose that little piece, then the tube is
Useless.
Yeah, useless altogether. So I don't know. I'm gonna show her that today. Whoever sees me in the OR, I'm gonna show them that and tell them, that I really need a new tube, because if I lose this, I'm in a mess. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Just nervous about it. Hope they tell me that I've healed a lot. A lot. So last night, Big Daddy, I didn't sleep. I was on the phone with Eva a lot during the night. I was on the phone with my friend Angela a lot during the night, and I just couldn't sleep. I was trying to sleep and just couldn't. Anyway, at one point I was sitting there and I was looking at my phone, and something hit me right here. And it scared me because I wasn't expecting anything. And I looked, and Sassy was like laying over the back of my chair, like right here at me. And I was like, oh, Sassy. About that time, something went in my ear. And I was like, oh, and I was like, something went down in my ear, and I knew it had wings because it was vibrating and trying to get out, and it was just like wiggling and vibrating. Those wings are just going, and oh my gosh, I was freaking out, okay? And so I was like trying to get it out, but I thought, okay, I might be pushing it further down because it felt like it was going further down. And so I got up and I went in the bathroom. I got some tweezers, and I was trying to get in there and pull that out, but I felt like I might have been pushing it further. I could never get it to pull it out. And so I looked around the house for anything I could use. I couldn't find anything. And I was just freaking out. I was just about to go wake Big Daddy up. And I was like, let me go try again. I went and sat down at my desk, and I got the tweezers, and I got them in, and I let it open, and I just kept pushing those tweezers in as far as I could get them. And then I closed it and pulled it, and I pulled out a little moth. It was tiny, but it felt like it was huge in my ear, and the wings were just a-going. Oh my gosh. So I spent about an hour doing that.
Unless you're going back to sleep.
Yeah. Well, I did get sleepy finally. And so I was finally able to doze off a little bit. And then Big Daddy got up about the time I dozed off good. So.
You looked like you was asleep to me when I got up.
Yeah, I was. Did you woke me up? So I tried to lay there and just go back to sleep,
Pretend.
but I couldn't. Huh?
Pretend.
Yeah, I tried to pretend like I was asleep so he wouldn't talk to me.
I didn't want to bother you. I was being quiet.
I know you was being quiet, but I just couldn't go back to sleep at that point. I was just too much running through my mind. So anyway, that's what we're doing today, and we're gonna meet a subscriber today, Vivian and her husband. We're going to meet them at the Blind Tiger after my scope. So that'll be cool. I'm looking forward to that. I hope she's not disappointed.
He's coming off some stuff.
Yeah. Debris.
Yep.
Anyway.
Dump truck just passes. They got a lot of debris coming off the tires, I guess. That little trailer.
So the sky there's no clouds. You see any clouds?
Yeah.
But it is.
You know, some way back there. Make sure this truck gets on by us pretty good.
So we're making our way down I-20 across Louisiana. And we'll be there before we know it.
Yep.
We've made good time today. We are almost there. Getting closer. We're getting off. I'm going to be in Bossier. We'll get off the interstate so we can miss a bunch of traffic plus construction. But there's construction everywhere. Everywhere. So anyway, we're getting off here. Is this Bossier right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, just as we enter Bossier. And we take this road on down till we get ready to cross over to Shreveport. So anyway, we're not that far from the hospital in reality, but, we still got a little driving to do. We should be there in the next 20 minutes. Huh? We should be there in about the next 20 minutes. Oh, yeah. We've made really good time today, so. Dairy Queen.
He moved the speed limit one time.
Yeah, he did drive good today. Anyway, the sky's looking weird today. No, pretty.
It's gonna be hot.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot today. No poofy clouds.
It's 10:24 and it's already 92 degrees out there. The dog days of summer.
We are crossing over the Red River
Ta-da!
into Shreveport now. There's Bass Pro down there. I can't think of that big hotel.
The casinos.
Well,
Casino Road here.
yeah.
All up and down the river. Louisiana, they have to be on boats. Well, they don't have to be on boats, but the bigger ones are on boats.
Yeah. So now we are in Shreveport, in the Red River District, downtown. And you all probably recognize the Blind Tiger. And that's where we're meeting Vivian and her husband for late lunch, early dinner. I don't know. Depends on what time I get out of the hospital.
Downtown Shreveport. I love this area down here.
That's where 50 Cent has bought up a lot of this property right around here.
Yeah, just right over there, actually.
Yeah, I think he has something right
He's got
here.
some buildings right here, yeah.
He's got something right here in front of us. And then down on the other side of Blind Tiger, he bought some properties, turned into like some studios and type things. Somewhere right up in here. Yeah, some of those buildings right up in there he bought.
Turn them into offices.
It's kind of a little artsy type area also.
Also what?
A little artsy type area. This is Texas Avenue or Texas Street?
Texas Avenue.
No, street.
Texas Street. Sure.
Yeah, Texas Street. Lord,
If you're on that side of the bridge, it's East Texas Street. If you're on this side, it's Texas Street.
okay. All of a sudden, now that we're getting close to the hospital, I'm so sleepy. I can't hardly open my eyes open.
You fixing to take a nap?
I could have slept on the way over here, but I don't know. I just got a little bit too nervous to sleep. But now, all of a sudden, I can't hardly open my eyes open. I could go to sleep right now. Which I will go to sleep when they take me in the OR.
They're gonna make sure you sleep.
Yep.
You're gonna be trying to tell them you're nervous. They're gonna say, hush up.
No, they'll put that
Thick.
mask on me and they'll say, and then they'll start asking me a whole bunch of questions. And you're struggling to answer them. And then next thing you know, you're in recovery and they're waking you up. And you're still trying to answer the questions they asked you. That's a big campus right there. It's just got this side and it goes way back. I'd like to try to make the block around that one day.
I think it's the whole block.
It is. It looks like it. All the way down here. I bet it is. That straight ahead is a little Asian garden. It's just rocks and some plants and little statues and things. This little Asian garden.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
They could live in the river.
And then there's the RCA dog over there. Roof, roof.
In the evening time, he's got spots on him.
Yeah, his spots light up in the
They
evenings.
change color. Tabernacle there.
So anyway, we know a little, I don't know if you call it a shortcut or a cut through or something, but a little cut through that Big Daddy discovered to get to my pain doctor. And then from my pain doctor, if you just keep going through that little cut through, we can get closer to the hospital. So we're not having to deal with a whole bunch of traffic. This way it's just become our way of choice.
Avoids all that construction.
Yeah, until they have construction down here.
Yeah.
We have had construction down here and a bunch of detours one time, and the problem with that was we don't know the area or Shreveport itself well enough to know where to go when you have detours. But we found our way out.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Just keep making lefts, you'll get back to where you need to be. Or right, see the one.
Yeah.
Might go around the block a few times. But you eventually figure it out.
I guess so. There's that building I like that reminds me of Germany. I don't know, it just gives me Germany vibes. Maybe not.
I'm gonna go on that museum of fencing. See what kind of barbed wire they got in there.
Oh gosh, it ain't even funny anymore. Our son Dakota tried fencing when he was an early teenager, but he just was not aggressive enough. He's not aggressive at all.
Yeah, he was a little timid.
There is,
If I still had the knees for it, I'd like to do it.
one of the hospitals that I go to.
St. Mary's.
Yeah, they're super sweet over there. They're like mopping up sugar on that floor. Okay? They're so sweet. And then it's connected to this, and it's connected to my pain doctor, which is right there in that building, but it's connected to that hospital. You can go from floor to the hospital. You don't have to go outside. And there's that pretty building that I always like. CADA?
I've heard of it, but I never realized it was right there. I mean,
Oh,
how long have we been coming right here?
Yeah. I just saw a building that counseling on, what was it? Alcoholism, drugs, abuse, which is his specialty.
Yeah, I've heard of Kayla. Now I know where it's at. All these old houses, right?
Yeah. Some beautiful,
Coming down through here.
some beautiful houses.
We have some construction.
And now we have a little bit of construction, but just a little bit. They just got a little boo-boo in the road.
Like a big boo-boo in the road.
There's
Fall
that.
off in there.
What church is that over there?
Hmm?
What church is that?
That's the St. Mark's Cathedral.
It's a beautiful church, like a lot architect. On the outside, I've never been on the inside, of course. And now we're on Kings Highway, and my hospital is right up here. Like I can see the hospital from here. So I'm glad Big Daddy discovered that little cut through.
Yeah, because when we were coming from that side,
Yeah,
it was always under construction.
always. We're about to pull up.
You got LSU here, you got the Shriners Hospital here, you got a whole bunch of stuff just right here.
Yeah. It's a lot of medical. Is that Shriners right there?
Yeah. It's the Shriners Hospital. Coming down to here. St. Jude's Research Center. And you got LSU.
And now we're at LSU. And Big Daddy will have to park over here.
Way over there.
Oh, and then walk way over here.
Yeah. I'll let you out at the front door.
Thank you, baby. I wouldn't make it otherwise.
Oh, you.
No, I wouldn't, especially today. Hurting today. A lot of traffic on Kings Highway.
What was that?
I don't know. I think she thought she could turn in that parking lot.
You can't turn it down. Way back in.
Alright, I'll be on the 3rd floor. Okay.
She made it through.
Show it to you.
Down to 2 liters now.
Oh,
Making progress.
This is the jtube where I get my feeds and my meds. Is that closed?
I'll get that in a minute.
And this is the gtube where I will vent and drain. There's a whole new button. You see it?
No. You got it. You got everything pulled up on top of it. There.
So,
You got a Mickey button, which is great.
so both of these can unhook from the Mickey button.
No, this is just for the Mickey button.
Uh,
That's hooked up direct to the thing.
yeah, she said you can unhook.
Okay.
Unhook both of them.
All right.
So that's awesome. But now I got 2 tubes. Went from 1 to
You
3.
can unhook them. You won't have any.
Yeah. Feel a little bit rough right now. They're going to keep me on the oxygen because of my oxygen is too low. So they're having to keep me on this for a little bit till my oxygen comes up. But anyway, I'm thrilled that I now have a Mickey button instead of a peg tube. That's awesome.
Very good. Thank you.
So I'm just waiting for this. I gotta stay on this for a little bit. Trying to take deep breaths. Thank you for your prayers. We made it through. Made it through. Oh, it's 4 p.m. We just left the hospital. They had to get my oxygen up before they'd let me leave. They finally got it up to 90. And so they said that was good.
She kept holding her breath.
I don't know. It was 88. And then it jumped up to 90, so they let me go. Anyway, there's that place you're talking about.
Huh?
There's that place you're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, so I did get the gtube. I'm gonna have to get used to that because it's a lot of tubes there.
It's different.
It's different, yeah. I'll just have to get used to it. But anyway, we are headed to the Blind Tiger to meet Vivian and her husband, and I don't recall his name. If she's told it to me or not, but
We'll find out, man.
well, I just came out of surgery and I can't even remember my name right now. But I know one thing, I'm freaking starving. I'm so empty, and Big Daddy probably is too.
I had anything since last night.
Huh?
I hadn't had anything since last
I
night.
know. Unless you ate chips out there.
Yeah.
So
That was so aggravating, though.
we have, yes, we were sitting there waiting. You know, I got here, you go register, and you're sitting in the waiting room to get called back. Okay. I was hot. It was warm in there to me, and I was hot and kind of sweating and uncomfortable. And this family sitting, like, our feet are touching, pretty much. They're sitting right across from us. Our feet are sharing the same aisle there. They go down to the cafeteria and get plate lunches, 4 plate lunches, and bring back up there. And they're all just sitting there eating,
Digging out.
pigging out.
Meanwhile, she's been NPO since yesterday evening.
Yeah, we both have been NPO. Because he ain't ate anything today either. And so they're sitting there with that food, and the smell of the food was making me so sick. It was making me so nauseated. But that was very, very inconsiderate.
Inconsiderate, yeah.
You got people there that's been NPO since the night before, and they're sitting there eating in front of them. Yeah, that was very inconsiderate. And Jody did say something to the nurses in the back. But the smell was making me so nauseated. We had to get up and leave out of that waiting room. And there's another little waiting room. Here come that girl again with a whole bunch of...
With 3 more plates.
I know, and I was like,
Damn,
girl,
we
if you
can't get
sit
away from
down,
her.
if you sat down with those plate lunches and start eating, we couldn't have words. 'Cause we just left to get away from you. But anyway, I made it through. I was looking on my papers, or my, what the doctor wrote. I guess my esophagus and stomach is still in bad shape,
But better.
but a little bit better. She said it's still more than 75% bad. So she's, let's see if I can move my hand because I'm hurt. That's hurting.
They were able to get in and do what they needed to
Yeah,
do,
they were able to stretch my esophagus enough to get those tubes down
which is awesome.
and take my old tube off. So that'll be good. We'll just have to get used to it and see.
Don't have much of a choice.
I know. I mean, I'll get used to it.
Yeah.
It just take a little time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think being able to take all that off,
Yeah.
not having anything hanging down and catching on stuff, and that's going to be awesome.
Yes, it will be. And then I'll use it. That's how the jtube. So I still have the drain bag,
As you need it.
but not all the time.
Not 24 hours a day.
Yeah,
7
not
days a
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So anyway,
Going to the grocery store with it and everything else.
yeah. But I can use it to get relief and to take pressure off my stomach as needed. So that's good. All right. Yeah, I was reading her notes, what she wrote, and she did say it was still grade D.
Grade what?
Grade D,
Okay.
which is the worst. And
And
that means it's over 75%. And so, anyway, hopefully it'll just continue to heal. I mean, hopefully. But they were super, super nice. I couldn't have asked for a better experience. They were all so nice and so sweet, you know, making sure I was okay and had everything and all that. So anyway, we are headed to the Blind Tiger now, and Vivian and her husband are already there, and we have a little mix-up. I don't know, we had a little mix-up in communication and all, and so they went at 12. My surgery was at 12, and I did let her know when we got to the hospital at 11 that I just got to the hospital waiting to get called back, but she thought we were meeting at 12. But my surgery was at 12, and so they went to the Blind Tiger at 12. And so they've already ate and everything. We're just going to, I guess, say hi, but we gotta go eat. We starving.
y'all get to meet them.
We starving. Marvin's here, so anyway.
We don't look like we starving.
I know we don't look like we starving, but we hungry. We're some hungry folk.
Got a ways to go before we start.
Oh goodness.
Doggy.
Anyway. So
I love this part of Shreveport right here.
yeah.
All these old buildings and stuff. Really like this part of Shreveport. The rest of it they can have.
Yeah.
But this right down here, I like this street right here.
This downtown area is really nice. So I guess on the way we showed, I had the camera up showing going up the street. So let's go down the street
Go down
now.
the street, yeah. I love that big building right there. Not the Regents Bank.
At one point there was crochet. There it is. It's faded. It was crochet all around that tree back there, but
Oh,
it's
really?
faded now. And it's all the same color now.
Really neat.
Yeah.
Stonework over here.
So that's Louisiana Avenue. In case y'all was wondering where that was. It's right there. Oh goodness, I feel like I'm about to throw up.
Well, we're almost there. We're only about 3 blocks away.
I know.
4 blocks away.
But these old buildings are very interesting and just nice.
I love these old buildings.
I hope I'm able to eat something.
Huh?
I hope I am able to eat. I'm so
I hope
hungry.
you are too.
I'm so
Get your
hungry
bowl of
that
gumbo. So you know you need that.
I know, but what I'm saying is I'm so hungry. I'm nauseated right
Understand
now.
that. get your bowl of gumbo, and then you get your whatever to go with it.
Yeah.
But you know you can eat
Prime.
if you're coming to our house.
We're to get back on the interstate if he's going to my house.
You just have to load up, taking all your stuff to our house.
It's FedEx, he's headed there too.
Yeah.
A little orange Mustang. Our son Elijah has a white Mustang. Come on, light.
So not this coming up weekend, but the next weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, we did figure out we had to postpone our trip to see Elijah this coming up weekend to the next weekend. So, he had some stuff going on at work. So, we said, okay, we'll come the next weekend. We're flexible. Alright, there's a blind tiger, so we are here. Hey friends, so it is the next day. It's Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. And I just wanted to come back and end that video and so I can get it put together and get it up and let you all know that we made it home and I'm doing okay. We went to the Blind Tiger and we met with Vivian and her husband Luke, and they were so nice. They were a pleasure to meet them, and they had already ate, so they just ordered a dessert and sat there with us while we ate, and we just chatted and talked and all that. Okay, Vivian is a subscriber that lives in Texas. She doesn't crochet, she's just here. And I love that. I think that's just, great. Vivian was so sweet, and her husband was very nice too. They just, it was just like, now she knows all about me, right? But I don't know anything about her. So I was kind of asking her questions, her and her husband, so I could get to know them better and get to know their life a little bit, So, it was just, we had a nice conversation, nice visit. I enjoyed every minute of it. I'm so glad that they came through. They came here to visit his aunt, and now they were leaving here, and they were going on their vacation and going to Branson, going to see the different shows up there and such. And so I hope they have a wonderful time and enjoy their trip. Now, while we were sitting there eating, y'all, this is hilarious. And I hate that I didn't think fast enough. Keep in mind, I was still a little groggy on anesthesia, right? I was still a little groggy and trying to figure out what was going on. But we're sitting there eating, and a lady come up, and she says hi to me, and she's saying something, and the music is playing a little bit too loud in there. At one point, just talking with Vivian and her husband, I almost asked the waitress, could they turn the music down just a little bit, because it was kind of loud, and it was hard to hear. And I know Big Daddy was probably having a hard time hearing, because he can't hear. That music was just really loud for some reason that day. And so I never did ask them to turn it down. Well, this lady comes up and she starts talking to me, and I really couldn't hear what she was saying. I know she was saying, hey. And then, so I was like, who are you? I think that's what I said. I didn't, it was dark in there. We weren't sitting by the windows. I always sit by the windows so it's brighter and I can see my food, because I hate not being able to see my food. I want to see what's in my food before I put it in my mouth. And so we were sitting away from the windows, because it is cooler by the windows is a little bit warmer because the sun coming in the window, but in the middle of the restaurant, it's a little cooler because you're not getting that sunlight. And it's real dark there. They have a light coming down over each table, I think, but it's dark. It's dark in that area, and so I couldn't see my food in my plate. And this lady comes up and she's talking to me, and behind her is light coming in the windows, and so I couldn't even see. I could just see the silhouette of her. And so I kind of reached out and I was like, no, who are you? Or what's your name? Or something like that. I don't know what I said, but anyway, she told me her name was Pat, and she was from California. And her sister is Jackie, and Jackie was talking to Big Daddy, and I was talking to Pat, and I don't know what Big Daddy and Jackie were saying, but they were just driving by and saw our car, Big Daddy's car, and stopped to come in to say hi. Yo, isn't the best thing ever? That is just awesome. I love that. And so they just said hi, and I kind of got that information from them, and then they were gone. And then I was like, gosh, I wish they had stayed. Like, they could have just pulled up a chair and, sat with us, or they could have ordered some food and ate, or just sat with us and chatted or something. I did not even think to get a picture with them, and I hate that. I hate that I didn't get a picture with you, Pat and Jackie. It didn't cross my mind. I mean, I really just didn't. And then Vivian said something about it, but y'all were gone. It was no way I was gonna make it out there to you guys before you drove off, because I was really moving slow. Because I was super sore around my stoma. Even though they didn't make a new hole, they traumatized the one that was there. They traumatized that hole, and it's bled a lot, and it's just really, really sore. So anyway, Jackie and Pat appeared just as fast as they left, and I don't know, I wish they would have stayed and hung around with us. We just sat there and chatted for a little bit, and then we had finished, and I was feeling really bad. I was, but I can hold it together for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just suck it up and do what you got to do, even though you feel bad, even though you're hurting. You just suck it up and do what you got to do. And I really did want to visit with Vivian, and so, and I had to get something to eat anyway, right? Big Daddy was starving. Bless that man's heart. I know he was starving, because he had not ate anything either. We barely got up and got out of the house to get there on time. He had time to make a coffee and take with him. So he had something to drink, and I had not had anything to drink. But I would have, sat there and visited with Pat and Jackie too, if they had stayed and visited. But that just tickles me to death that they stopped by to say hi. They saw our car out there and knew we were there, and so they stopped. That just tickles me so much. I love that. Thank you, ladies, for stopping by. And I wish that I would have thought to say, pull up a chair. Because normally that's what I would say. Pull up a chair and visit with us. But keep in mind, I was still on anesthesia a little bit, I still had that groggy feeling, so I didn't think to say that. And also, I didn't think to say, well, let's get a picture. We could have stepped out on the sidewalk if y'all would have helped me and got me out there. I was walking really slow. But we could have walked out on the sidewalk or somewhere where we could have got a picture. Now, Vivian did get the waitress to take a picture of the four of us. she and I and Big Daddy and her husband Luke, Vivian got a picture of that, and I started to get on my camera and she on my phone, but she said I'll send it to you, but I'll post that one day whenever after I get it from her. Actually, I hadn't checked my messages, so she might have sent it to me. But anyway, we had a very good visit with them, and then I went to the bathroom, and then I was like, yeah, we need to go. I was very, very sleepy, and so we said goodbye to our friends and got in the car and got on the interstate and headed back to Monroe. I fell asleep before we ever got out of Shreveport. Yeah, I got in that car and Big Daddy fixed my pillow behind my head and I just laid back and I was just like, I was out. I don't even remember leaving Shreveport. I was asleep before then. But I'd wake up every now and then. Like we drove up. He went by his new place of employment. I think he was gonna look. I don't know what he did. I never didn't ask him later. We drove up there. I kind of woke up and saw we were, and I just went back to sleep. He got out, and I don't know if he went in or what he did. I never even woke back up. He got back in the car and we left. And I just slept. Okay, so before we left Shreveport, or earlier in the day, we knew we were out of some things at the house. Like we were out of sugar, we were out of butter, and a couple more items that we needed, like pronto, because I gotta have my sweet tea, right? Yes, I gotta have my sweet tea. And so, gotta have it. And by the way, you see my stickers are still there. Remember we did that cut back in, I think June? I think we did that in June. I said I was going to keep up with that, and I think it was in June. Anyway, so earlier in the day, I had made my Walmart list, and so when we was leaving Blind Tiger, I went ahead and put that on a pickup and paid for it, and the only slot they had was 9 p.m. And so it was about 6, I believe, when we were leaving Shreveport. I'm not quite sure on that. I do remember Big Daddy saying something about 6. But anyway, he said, go ahead and do it. Even if we have to wait a little bit, we can sit in the parking lot and wait. It'd be much better than having to go back out to get it, and you're not going to feel like going anywhere tomorrow. And it wasn't enough to warrant a a delivery. And I'm leery about deliveries right now anyway. So we went ahead and just did a Walmart curbside pickup. And so I had put that in. So I slept all the way to Monroe. We got to Monroe. I kind of woke up and said, where are we? He said, we're in Monroe now. He said, you want something to drink? I said, yes. My mouth was so dry. I said, yes, I'd love something to drink. And so we went to Sonic and got a drink and sat there for a minute. And he said, we're going to go into the Walmart parking lot. It was a man walking around at the Sonic parking lot that seemed to be a little bit sketchy. So Big Day said, let's just go to the Walmart parking lot. And so that's what we did. And we didn't have to wait very long. And they texted and said that my order was ready. And so then we went and drove around and parked in one of the slots to pick up the order, and I let them know what slot we were in, and they brought it on out, and we made it home. But let me just tell you, I could not even move. Sitting in the car, I could not even move to, like, sit up better or whatever. My rear was hurting so bad, and I could not even move to shift myself around. But we made it home. It was about 9:30-ish, because I think we picked up the order at 8:45. I could barely get out of that car. I could barely get out of the car. I was in so much pain and just so much stiff. I was stiff. I was in pain. Around my tube was bleeding, and which I didn't know it was bleeding at the time, but it was bleeding, and it was very, very sore because it had had a lot of trauma. Okay, all this right here, let me just see what we can do here, hiding my privates. But all this right here, these things right here, you know, they might have not have. Never mind. That's wrong. But that went down my esophagus, in my mouth, down my esophagus, in my stomach, and came out that little bitty hole. Okay? It came out that little bitty hole in my stomach. You know, that little hole that is about like that, you know? That came out of that hole, out into the, out, you know. So that created a lot of trauma to my hole. And like I said, it bled a lot. When we got home, I could barely get out of the car. I was just in so much pain and just crying. I was crying, trying to get in the house. And Big Daddy said, you know, you just go in the house, go to the bathroom, and go get in your chair. And so that's what I was trying to do, except I have a few things to do. I had to go to the bathroom and get my pajamas on. And I had laid out my pajamas beforehand, before we left that morning. I thought to do that because last time we had went to Shreveport, we came home, I barely made it to my chair, sat down, and went to sleep. And the next day when I woke up, or whenever the next day, I still had on the clothes from the day before. So I thought to lay my pajamas out so it would be easy, you know. So that's what I had done. So when I got in, I went to the bathroom, and I had my pajamas right there. So I was able to put them on, and I made it to my chair right here, and I went to sleep. And I slept until, I don't know, Big Daddy came through here at one point. I don't know if he was going to bed or if he had got up to use the restroom or what, but at one point I woke up and he came through. And so then I got up after he went back. He went to bed, so I don't know if he was already in bed or not. But anyway, he went to bed, and so I got up and went to the restroom and went in there to get something to drink, which I didn't have any tea made. So I got some Coke and drank a little bit of that, and then I got a snack. Oh, sorry. Try not to cover you up, but I gotta reach something. Eva. Thank you, Eva. Sorry about that, guys. Now you know my palm print. Eva had told me about these right here. Freeze-dried fruits. Walmart had a variety pack of 2 bananas and strawberry, 2 apple, and 2 pears. It was like these 6 bags, they're little bags, in a box for like 6 something. And Eva had told me about these, so I put them on my Walmart list, and so we got them. And I also put a fan on my Walmart list that we picked up last night too, because in the parlor, when I go in there to record in the evenings, it is so hot that my shirt will be wet with sweat. So I need a fan in there. I had a fan in there, but I ended up having to move that fan in here. So I have a fan, a tall tower fan right here across from me, sitting on that end table. But that left me with no fan in there. So I had to get a fan. But anyway, I had put these on my Walmart list, and so I got them last night. And so whenever I had got up to go to the restroom and I got up something to drink, I was like, is there anything I could just snack on? And I saw these. I was like, yeah, let me try that. These are so good. Like, thank you, Eva, for telling me about these, because they were delish and they just melt in your mouth. Like, they just dissolve in your mouth and they taste so good. Like, she said there's a lot of flavor in them, and that is true. Like, the banana is good, but the strawberries are like a party going on in your mouth. I hadn't tried the apple or the pear yet, but you can buy these in a box of the 6 for a variety pack, or you can buy the other ones individual. Like, you can get a bag of this. I'm assuming it's probably a little bit bigger than this bag, but I kind of like this size bag because it was just the right amount for a little snack. And I know some of you guys are diabetic, so I don't know what you need, because I'm not diabetic and Big Daddy is, but I don't keep up with that. That's his business. I'll just put this here for you in case you want to know anything about it. But you can probably look at this on the Walmart app. It probably tells you all this stuff there. I don't know. Some people count different things, and so I don't know what you might count. But you can go on the Walmart. I can't even see it. I see it better on the camera than I do with my eyes. But you can go on the Walmart app, or Walmart. Look it up on Walmart, and you can probably see this. Yeah, serving size is 1 bag, so it was a perfect size bag for a snack. Matter of fact, I had to force myself to eat the last bit. I knew that if I didn't eat it, it was probably gonna go stale pretty quick. And so it was a little bit left in there, and I was like, I knew I wasn't getting back up to go in there and get a clip to close it. And I had just cut the top of the bag with the scissors like that, so it was no way to close it. I would have had to get up and go get a clip, and I knew I wasn't just going to do that, so I just made myself finish them off. There's a little bit still left in there, some crumbs, but anyway, those are a very good snack. I will be getting those again, Eva. And so I went right back to sleep, and I woke up again when Big Daddy got up this morning to go get his shower. I got up and went to the restroom, and he was coming to go get in the shower. Like, he goes to the restroom, and then he goes and puts his clothes in the dryer and turns it on. They're dry. He's just fluffing them up, getting the wrinkles out. And then he comes in to go to get a shower. And so, whew, I was coming out of the bathroom and I was like, hey, I need to go lay down in the bed because my tailbone was hurting so bad from everything at the hospital yesterday and that sitting on that gurney, and they raised me up to an uncomfortable position, but they needed to do that because my oxygen just kept going down and it wouldn't stay up. And so they was like, we need you to sit up. And so they would pull, set that bed up, and I was very uncomfortable, and it made my tailbone hurt, and my rear was already hurting. I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story about that. But and then I sat in the car all the way home, and I was in an uncomfortable position, but yet I couldn't move my body to move. I don't know. I just had to suffer all the way home. I was in pain all the way home, and then I couldn't stay awake. Even after I got my drink from Sonic, Big Daddy kept saying, wake up, don't you drop that Coke in my car. He kept saying, don't you drop that Coke in my car. So I kept falling asleep. So this morning, I told him, I gotta go lay in the bed because my butt was hurting so bad. And so I got my blanket and my pillow and went to bed, and he come in there and covered me up and got me all comfortable, and he's like, you need anything else? I said, well, I forgot my phone in case I need to call you. So he come in here and got my phone and brought it back in there, and we plugged it up, and I turned on my tablet and started watching something and fell right to sleep. And I slept till, I guess, right before Paige came. And then Paige got here and came in there to let me know she was here. I woke up and I needed to go to the bathroom, but I couldn't get out of the bed. And so Paige got here and she helped me up. I couldn't push myself up to get out of the bed. So she pulled me up, and then she got my medicines and stuff while I went to the restroom and all that. And so she's been here all morning. Right when I started making this video, she had just left. So she's been here all morning and did my meds. And all that. We did not do formula today because I'm nervous about doing it. And when she gave me my meds into the duodenum, that's where that goes. One of these tubes goes to the duodenum, and the other one goes in my stomach. So the one that's down there in my intestines and the duodenum, she gave me my meds, down there where she's supposed to in the duodenum. But I don't know, they went right through me. And so I ended up having to get a shower, read between the lines. I ended up having to get a shower and get more pajamas on, and thankfully she was here to get stuff for me. But anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot. And then I've got to find out what rate to do my formula at. I know it's going to be low, and I'm going to be hooked up all the time. Basically, you can be hooked up 24 hours a day at a low rate to get the nutrition that you need. I'm nervous about that because in the past, when I was home alone and hooked up to my formula, my pole fell and just nearly jerked that tube out of my stomach. It fell and jerked me so hard that, and it must have really traumatized me because I'm about to cry. It must have really traumatized me, but it hurt like crazy having that jerk like that. And so, I'm nervous about being home alone and having that my formula hooked up. Now, if I'm at like, 30, at the rate of 30, and Paige is here for 2 hours, and it takes her a few minutes when she gets here to do my formula, because she has to go grind it up and get all my liquid formulas out of the refrigerator and pull them up in syringes, mix the other medicines with water and get them in a syringe. So it takes her a few minutes to do all that. So about 20 minutes in, and also before she does before she gives me my medicine through my tube, she cleans around my tube and changes that and all, changes the bandage around it, gets that all cleaned up nicely. Okay, so when she got here today, keep in mind, I hadn't seen all that. I came home, got in my chair, and went to sleep, right? Middle of the night, I got up, got back in the chair, went to sleep. This morning, I got up, got in the bed, and went to sleep. I hadn't seen all that yet. So, Paige we pulled that bandage out of there, and it was just covered. It just had blood on it, and it was dried blood everywhere on me. So, she cleaned all that off of me, and we got a new bandage on it. And plus, she put some medication on it because it was very, very red. And she put medication and all that on it. And so it takes her about 20 minutes, 25, 30, 20 minutes to get all that mixed up. And then by the time we get, the meds done and all that, it's about 10:30. And so if we hook up at 30, at a rate of 30, I'm not going to get very much. If we unhook at 12, I mean, it's a couple of swallows. I mean, that rate is so small that it's equal to just getting a couple of swallows of formula. Not the 30, but it all combined, it would be really, really just a tiny bit of formula. So, it would be useless in doing that. I'm going to have to be hooked up like almost 24/7. I've got to work something out with a dietitian. I need to talk with her and figure out what I can do. Anyway, so we didn't do formula today, but our plan is tomorrow. After I finish doing this video, I'm going to call the dietitian. Okay. Now, a funny that happened yesterday. So, whenever they called me back to the curtain room, I don't know if any of you are familiar with having day surgery, but you go register, they let them know you're there, you're in the waiting room, and then they, when it's your turn, or when you're up, they call you to the curtain room, and you go back there, and you get undressed and put on the gown, and they come in and start your IV, which mine is through my port right here, so that's good. I always leave this bandage on for a few days because I have pets, and they're all up on me, and I do not want to get an infection in my port, and so I just leave that bandage on so that hole is good and closed. I know it closes up when they take that out, but I just want to protect it for a couple of days. That might be overkill, but it gives me peace of mind. I don't want it to have I just want it to close up all the way before animal dandruff or hair or anything gets in that. So I'll keep it covered. Whatever bandage they put on it, I'll leave that on there for a couple of days, if possible. There's been a time or two where it came off and I couldn't. But, anyway. So, they call you back there, the gown, the IV, they're just hooking you up to all the machines, putting your blood pressure cup on you, your oxygen sensor thing, and mine goes on my ear. my earlobe, because it doesn't work on my fingers. Although they always try, and I tell them that it's not going to work, that it doesn't pick up on my fingers, and they're just like, yeah, it works on everybody. I mean, they don't say anything, but they're just looking at me like, what? They put it on anyway. And then they're like, it's not picking up. And they're like tapping it and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, you're going to have to do it on my ear. And they're like, how am I going to get this on your ear? And I'm like, they have one. It goes on the ear. That's a very normal conversation. I have it every time, anywhere I go. And so they have to go and ask somebody about it and hunt one down, and they come back in and put it on my ear. And so they're just fast paced. The doctor comes in, you sign the consent, which Big Daddy signed that consent, and then the anesthesiologist came in and I signed that consent. And it's just fast paced, it's like it's happening real fast. And then they're like, okay, we're ready. And and they tell Jody, go into the waiting room, and they'll let him know, they'll update him and let him know and all that. So I say, bye, and they're willing me on out because it was really fast. Okay, so I go to the OR, and they're getting me situated, and they're talking to me. They always talk to you whenever they give you the sleepy medicine. And then you're just like, and you're trying to stay awake to answer their questions. And I didn't fight it. I didn't fight it this time. I know they're just asking you questions and try, to see when you're out. So I didn't fight it. I just went on to sleep. But they're so sweet back there. Like, before they gave me the sleepy medicine, my doctor's standing here, and another surgeon is there, and she's telling him about me, and they're just talking, and she's patting me on the shoulder saying, we're going to take real good care of you. You don't worry about anything. You're going to be fine. I'm like, I know. Thank you, thank you. She's very, very sweet. I mean, she's really sweet. And so, next thing I know, I'm waking up in the recovery. The doctor comes in, and she's telling me what they had to do and all this kind of stuff. And see, I wasn't sure I was getting a gtube. I was under the impression that they were just going to check. At my last scope, they were supposed to do the gtube and was not able to do it. And so, she had sent me a message on the way to Shreveport, and I read that message, and I still wasn't under the impression that they were going to do it. I thought they were going to try to stretch me as much as they could, but she had told me beforehand that if she gets in there, she, is not able to open me up, she's not going to force it because she don't want to cause rips or anything like that. And so she may have to use the neonatal scope again and all this kind of stuff. So they were really just going in to look to see if I had healed and what they could do. But she was able to put the gtube in. So I don't know this. When I just woke up in recovery, I don't know what's going on. I know I'm hurting, but I don't know what's going on. And so, I mean, I wasn't like hurting, but I was really uncomfortable at that time because I was still under anesthesia and, everything else going on. And so she's telling me that they did a gtube, and I'm like, what? So she pulls it out, and she's showing me, and I was asking her some questions, And then she was gone. They brought Big Daddy back, and so he's sitting there with me, and they're trying to get my oxygen up because it's low, and it was in like the 80s, and they kept trying to get it up, you know, and it got up to 88. They even had me do a breathing treatment. You know, I was doing all these breathing exercises, and nothing was helping. And finally, it went from 88 to 90, and they said they went to talk to the doctor, and she said that was good. And so they let me go. So then I had to get dressed. So I got dressed, and no. So I'm sitting there. Let me back up. I'm sitting there. Yeah, I'm still kind of groggy today. Forgive me, but I'm sitting there, you know, breathing, doing the breathing treatments and all that kind of stuff, trying to get me back up. And I told Big Daddy, I said, let me see my phone and tell Vivian that, you know, I'm done with surgery, but we hadn't left yet. We're still here. And so he's looking for my phone. He's like, which bag is it in? I said, I don't know what bag you put it in. And he's like, I didn't have her phone. And so I'm like, I don't remember having it either. Like, I don't know when the last time I saw my phone. It was before surgery. But he was saying he didn't put it in the bag. He knows I didn't hand it to him. And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, is it in the bed with you? I was like, I don't know where it's at. So I roll over to one side, and he's like, no, I don't see it. I roll over to the other side, and he's like, there it is. It was under my butt the whole time I was in surgery. Now, I don't have my phone set to alarm. Like, anytime I get a text or whatever, my phone does not alarm because I sleep such odd hours. I just have all that turned off, so I don't get notifications. So that's good that my butt wasn't alarming during my surgery. That would have been embarrassing that my butt was alarming. But anyway, my phone went to surgery with me. Nobody knew, because you're on, when you go to the curtain room, you're on a gurney that they use as the to do your surgery in. You're on a gurney already for surgery, so you don't have to switch. Like when I go to get my Medtronic pump, when I get the refill on it, I go in the curtain room and I get in a bed, which is about like a gurney, but when they take you to the little waiting area, you're in the curtain room, they come get you and take you to the waiting area, and then to a little bay area, and then when they take you in the OR, you have to actually move from that gurney over to the operating table type thing, and so you have to like assist them and scoot over to that. But on this hospital and this particular thing, you're already in the bed that they're gonna do the procedure in. But anyway, yeah. So my phone went to surgery with me. I didn't know it. Nobody else knew it. I'm glad they didn't find it, because they would have thought she's so addicted to her phone she brought it to surgery, which is far from the truth. Half the time I can't even find my phone. If I go somewhere and come back home hours later, I'm like, where's my phone at? And I'll look around for it, and it's in the bottom of my purse from when I went to town or something, you know. But anyway, I didn't mean to talk this long, but I want to let you all know that I was okay. I just could not put out a video yesterday when we got home, I was out. And I still feel a little bit groggy yesterday. And also, when you get those albuterol breathing treatment, it makes you jittery. Like after we left the hospital, I was very jittery. Like you just feel like you're just like vibrating on the inside and kind of shaky. And so I felt that while we were trying to eat. I was just like, felt like I was vibrating and just jittering. And I still feel that way a little bit today. Normally I don't think it lasts that long. I don't feel jittery, but I guess I took so much of that yesterday. As they were trying to get my oxygen up, I guess I took so much that I still feel jittery today from that. And just still feel a little groggy. So it'll probably take a couple of days to recover from all that trauma. The trauma of my button. I'm getting warm now. Hopefully, all that soreness will stop soon, because it is very, very tender and sore. Not so much of a pain that I can't stand it. It's just uncomfortable. And sometimes that gets to be a little too much, you know. Even though it's not a horrible pain, just uncomfortable gets to be aggravating. But I'm going to let you guys go, and I will see y'all all in the next video. And I hope you're having a great day. I'm glad that this finally got done so we can get on the road to healing a little bit more and get some nourishment in me through this jtube. And get to a better me, you know. Alright guys, I'm going to let you all go. I'll see you later. Bye.